just going to sort that and get the link and post it on Facebook so people on Facebook can find us as well. How's everybody? How's your day been? I had a super busy day today, and had a Facebook Live this morning. Then I had to go and choose some colors for the hallway, which was I was in the shop for about an hour trying to look at these colors and choose all these colors. Let me just sort this out real quick. I need to look into how to get some music so we can have some lovely music. If I need to click on this, that's it, and I'm gonna get the link. One second. I'm gonna toggle on Facebook. I'm just gonna quickly say hello to Facebook and give them the link above so they can follow us through. Just find the link. There we go. I think I need some music. I definitely need to look into some music. Right, just refresh that. So tonight I've been thinking, what are we going to be making and what we're going to be playing with. Diane asked me if we can do the Russian Spiral 3, how to join it up to a bangle. I have got a piece somewhere half made, but I'm not, I can't find it where it is. So that is just gonna have to wait for another week because I didn't have time to make one up. Right, so if you are on Facebook and you are seeing this, the Creation Station is happening right now. I just popped in here to give you the right, just save this video, to give you the right link on the top of the video. So if you go to the top of the video, it says link for this video on YouTube. Click on that and come in through YouTube because the Creation Station is going to be a feature for YouTube itself. I'm doing it on my channel, which is Kitty Robinson Designs. So please click on the link above and come into YouTube. I'm going to stop this stream. We're going to be playing with baubles today. I have another couple of ideas how to cover some baubles with these lovely bugle beads, which I'm dying to try out, and I usually am so busy I don't get to try out until actually Christmas or after Christmas when it's too late. So tonight we're going to be playing with some baubles and some beads. So come over to YouTube and you can find me there with the link above. By Facebook. Right, so we popped onto Facebook, we've given them the link, we are back to YouTube now. Let me just go into Kitty Robinson Designs as well and give the link there as well, and then we will be good to go. Right, do let me know if any of you have made Christmas baubles before, or what type of Christmas baubles have you made. What is your favorite? Do you like frilly things at the bottom, or do you just sort of like to cover the top? Do you let me know which one you like? Let me just bring the comments window over. I can see quite a lot of you here already. I'm almost said good morning and it's evening time, so I think like good evening Jen, Janet, Mina, Edward, Brenda, Lucy, Chris, Amelia, Alison, Annette, Bella, Alison, and Brenda, come over from Facebook to YouTube. Lorna, I can see you on Facebook as well. Come over from Facebook, click on the link above and you will be able to join in further to the fun. I'm just quickly doing this link here as well. Just give me 1 second and we are getting started. I just want to give all these links and giving you the right links. That's it, and save that one. So I got the right links displayed everywhere. So everybody come over to YouTube because we're continuing on YouTube. Good evening, Lucy, Janet, Teresa, Kentishbury, Sue, and Mummy12314. Bless you. I know they have to get used to the names are here on YouTube are completely different from the names on Facebook. Right, okay, let's get started with, we got a couple of options. We're either going to be working with silver or we're going to be working with gold. Joyce saying I can't see any comments. If you came in from the link above, then you should be in the, I can see your comments. Let me just pop you up here so I can see that you're commenting to me. I think if you clicked on the link above on the Facebook, then you will be here in the right place. Right, let me just pop these out. So silver or gold? Let's play with gold, or let me know which one would you like to do, silver or gold. These are the gold ones and I got the silver ones here. I'm going to actually turn you down so you can see them. So the bugles we are going to be working today are 3mm bugles and they are Toho. I am going to turn up the light a little bit here so we get a nice and light table. I'm going to move this up just a tiny bit. That's it. So shall we work silver or gold? Mummy12314 is saying silver please. I'm just popping the silver ones out. Let me know which one you fancy, which one you can see better. I'm going to do a bit of a brick stitch with this, a bit of a leather and brick stitch tonight, because I want to sort of make little brick stitch triangles and then we can join them up at the top. I think they're going to look really great. Jackie's saying gold please. I think you have to be signed into YouTube to make any comments, Lorna. That's absolutely right. We got 2 silver, 1 gold. And I am going to be, how about if we use silver bugles with gold beads, or gold bugles with silver beads. We could even just get the silver beads here. We could even make them a little bit more interesting. So we could do or gold with gold, or equally we could do gold with red, because I got red seed beads here as well, or gold with green. Green would look good as well, very Christmassy color. Or maybe we could use a bit of everything. Let's try and get started. Let's do the gold with the gold to start with. Gold show better on light. Silver with gold. Gold please. To be fair, silver but gold shows up better. So let's work with the gold. I will pop this silver to the side. We can always have a little go and do something with it later on. I'm just going to grab some thread. So I'm going to start off with using Supalon size D. Now I'm going to have to go backwards and forwards on this one, so you might have to go down to double A for a ladder stitch. I'm not sure, but this is how it starts out. When I make any pattern, this is always how it starts out, and I just need to find a straight needle in my stash. That's straight enough, that will be good, and we are good to go. Well, let me add myself gold and red. That would look good as well. Oh no, I don't want that. I want to add it to the little, that's it, that's what I want to do. Add it to the corner. Technology is failing me all day today, I'm telling you. It's one of those days. Silver and gold. So I'm going to use the gold bugles then, and we're going to use some silver seed beads with it. So what I really have in mind is This one is a netted pattern, and we're going to do this one in the bead clump in a couple of weeks. It's a really lovely, very easy pattern. I have the way how I've worked it out, because there's so many different baubles and they're fitting so many different, you know, there is no, some of the baubles are 55 mil, some of them are 60 mil, some of them are 50 mil, some of them are 30 mil. 20 mil, 25 mil, depending on when you bought it or where you bought it from. You're all going to have different sizes, so I had to work out a pattern for this which is going to fit all, but we're going to do this in the bead club. But what I would like to do tonight is, I'm going to, actually I could put this on a red bauble and it's going to look really good. I want to make little leather stitch bugle bits at the top, and then I'm going to come down in a triangle point with a brick stitch, and then we're gonna make a few of these up, and then you can join them all together to go around the bauble. So let's try that. How is gonna work? Oh, Joe said she's finally figured it out. Oh, bless you. Joyce, we got Joe Trick and Joe McCartney here as well. Joe McCartney saying evening, Kitty and everyone. Let's mix two colors to be would be good. Two colors, Lorna is saying. The gold over the red bauble is lush, isn't it just? Right, so we need some seed beads as well. So what we're going to start with, now we could either just have a little sort of leather stitch. Now when you do leather stitch, you're going to end up stitching these together, and they're going to sit side by side just like that. Let me just zoom in on this quite a bit more so you can see actually what I'm doing. So if you're doing a leather stitch, they're going to be sitting side by side, and I often do this even before I start something. I just put it out on my mat, and I just sort of put them into the shape I want to stitch them into, so it helps me visualize better what I'm doing. But that would be leather stitch. Now what I would like to do is, that would be nice on its own, but I'm going to add a seed beads to the top and the bottom of it to make it a little bit bigger, and then when we jump down a row, we're just going to pick up the bugle and the seed bead. So it's always going to be sort of, when you look at it, a bugle, a seed bead bugle all the way down. Right, so I'm going to pick up one seed bead, one bugle bead, two seed beads, another bugle bead, and another seed bead, and I'm going to take these down all the way. Just get these balls out of the way because I will knock them. And I'm going to come through, let's suspend this here, I'm going to come through the first seed bead, bugle bead, seed bead. Now leather stitch, you can do it with one needle, you can do it with two needles as well. And then I'm going to go up the next seed bead, bugle bead, seed bead. Then I'm going to pick up one seed bead, one bugle bead, one seed bead, and I'm going to go up through the seed bead, bugle bead, seed bead again. I just came out of one and pull it tight, and I need to, I actually got a little bit to hold on to that, so I'm going to get the end go and just hold on to the seed beads themselves, and then come down, so I'll be in position to add further beads. So I want, maybe I need an even number, so I think now let's get going. Maybe 7 or 9 will do. If I do 7, in the next row it's going to be 5, so there's 2 rows. The row after is, no, we're going to need 9, so we have got a little bit going. So I'm just going to keep repeating it, just doing a little leather stitch right at the top here, coming down, so I'm in position to add the next one. Then I'm picking up one seed bead, bugle bead, seed bead, coming through all of them from the opposite end. So my tail is, my thread is coming out of the bottom here, so I'm going to come through the top and pull this up, then go back up. Then next one, this I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, and this one is the 7th. So I'm going to go to the top, and then come down. So this one, actually we could have 6, 5, just reducing 1, and that would work as well. Okay, and that might work out the right size. So from here on, I just got this little ladder here. I'm gonna go into brick stitch, and I'll be catching this little loops at the bottom of my beading to hang more beads off of it. Because we got a seed bead row here, so where I am, I just need to pick up a bugle bead. I'm gonna pick up 2 seed beads and another bugle bead, and I'm gonna come through the, say if this is bead number 1 at the end, then you got bead number 2. I'm gonna come through catching the thread path right under between bead 2, bugle bead 2 and 3, pull this up, so they're just gonna sort of sit there on the bottom. Just gonna turn it and go back down to the bugle bead and the seed bead, pull this up, I'm not quite happy that this is not gonna sit quite right. So can you see, because we stepped down, but I really would like these two to sit next to each other. If I bring it up and pop it on my hand, you can see the last bugle bead just doesn't sit straight. So there is a little cheat. What you can do is to go up through that seed bead and bugle bead, and then come back down the bugle bead and the seed bead you were just coming out of. And what will that do is the thread will pull it together right at the top. And can you see the little bugle bead moved over? Let me zoom in a little bit more. Can I zoom in a bit more? Yes. So I can hold it down and it's static. So you just pull those bugle beads together. Now I'm going to pick up 1 seed bead and 1 bugle bead, and I'm going to catch the thread part between the next 2 bugles there, pull this up, then I'm going to come back down towards, and just turn this around so I can hold it tighter, come back to the bugle bead and the seed bead and pull this up nice and tight. Then we're picking up another seed bead and a bugle bead and going across and coming back down. The bugle bead and the seed bead, pulling it tight. And I need to add 2 more at the end here. Just make sure this end sits tight. Just pulling it tight. I'm picking up a seed bead and a bugle bead, catching the thread between the next 2. So all I'm doing is just going across to the next one. So I have got a bugle bead sitting underneath the thread path here, so I'm gonna catch the next 3 one. I'm not jumping ahead, I'm not missing one out, or I'm not putting 2 on one thread path, because then it would buckle. I'm just keeping it 1 on every single one, and this is the last one I'm gonna add to the last loop there. Pull this out, and then I'm gonna go through the bugle bead and the seed bead. That's it, and now I'm going to be into the next row. So in the first row we had 7 bugle beads, in the second row we had 6, and in the third one we're going to have 5. But let me just shut that door. I can just hear the TV coming through. So the next row I'm going to have 1 less. So again, when we begin on the first row, I don't actually know if you need the seed beads between the bugle beads, but let's do a few more rows and we will see. got you now. Sorry, we may. Sorry, what we're making tonight missed the first bit, and Kitty and everyone. Good evening, my lovely. So we're just playing around with brick stitch, and we did a little bit of ladder stitch on the top. So I want to do some decorations to cover some of the baubles, and all these techniques I'm really dying to have a go at it and do some, but always run out of time running up to Christmas doing all sorts of different things. So what we're doing, the first row we have 7, the second row we have 6, and the next row we're going to have 5, and they're going to be just sort of real triangles coming down on the bauble, and I'm probably going to need to make about 10 of these, then I can sew them together. So I could have made a base going all the way around first, and once I've worked out the pattern properly, that's how it would evolve. We would make a band going all the way around, and then at various places you would come down with your drops, with your triangles. But because when I work a pattern out, I like to make the little elements first and adding the elements together and sewing them together. So what do we think so far? Do let me know if you, what do you think of it so far? And I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna start the next row. So I got the seed beads there already, so I'm gonna pick up a bugle. I'm going to pick up 2 seed beads. I'm probably going to have to do or cheat again in this. So I'm not going through the first 2, between the first 2. I'm not catching this thread because I picked up 2 sets on my needle. I'm catching the thread between bugle 2 and 3 as I'm going back. And pull this up. Yes, we're going to have to do our little cheat again. So I'm going to go down in position what I would need to be to add further beads, but as you can see, this last bugle again is sitting sort of to the side, and I want to sit nice and next to each other, just to sort of really snuggled up. So I'm going to go back up through the first 2 and then come back through the second lot, and when I pull this together, can you see how that just pulls it together, just makes them sit really nice and tight. And now I'm going to add a few more sets, the 1 seed bead, 1 bugle bead going along, Alice was saying, is the picture a bit blurry for anyone else, or is it the internet speed again? Blurry for me too. It's okay for me, but my tablet a little blurry, so probably in that. Let me take this down, and what I do, I just pop you on my other screen and I give a little bit of a wipe to the bottom of the lens, because sometimes what you can have, and what can happen when you have a blurry picture. Let me just pop you on this one, and I take this out of the holder. Sometimes when you have a blurry picture, what you can happen, that you have a little speckle of dust on the camera itself, and I'm gonna wipe it with this. Just give it a little bit of a wipe with your jumper, I guess, well, got or anything you have, and then that should solve the problem. Let's have a look. Let's put this back up here. That's it. And go back to this one. I'm going to add my stuff to the corner. Is that any better? Is that sharper? Do let me know. It could be the internet, but sometimes the little tricks like that can help. Or, you know, when you're in a Zoom meeting or a Zoom call and they say, oh, the picture is blurry for you, because all of us who go into Zoom meetings with our laptops, and if you think about it, the camera is right in the middle of your laptop, and when you open up the laptop, you always sort of, with your hand, you cover the camera, and you can have little fingerprints on the camera, and then they are not so clear. So do let me know if the picture is any better now. I'm just adding the last set between the last 2 beads. So now in this row we only have 5, and then I'm gonna move down and we're gonna have 4 in the next one, and so on. So depending of, I guess, how long we want to make this little triangle drooping down, you need to start with a wider or thinner part. Brenda is saying it's fine. Joe is saying my picture is fine. Rachel is saying it's okay for me, I'm watching on my phone. Hopefully that did the trick then. So next row, I'm going to be adding one less as well. Be most probably going to have to do that little trick again to binding the first 2 segments together. So I'm catching not the first thread but the second one, pulling this nice and tight, going back down, so I would be in a position to add further beads. But before I do that, I'm just going to circle back these 2 beads so they get pulled together nicely, up on the first set, down on the second set, and pull this up nice and tight, and then we are ready to add a few more beads. I'm actually going to make this, is this a little bit, yes. So if you hold your work up, and like you can see the bottom is spinning, what happens as you're going round and round with your thread can be a little bit twisted. So I just hold it up and I put it sort of in my index finger and put my nail on my thumb against it, and I just pull the thread all the way through, and that takes that little sort of twist out. Right, seed bead and bugle bead, and going through the next one. So in this row we're only going to have 4, and then we're going to quickly go down to the last row, and in the very last one we're just going to have 1. Just picking this up and just going through the last bit and coming through just like that. I think it coming along nice. Then if I put it to the bauble, you can see it's more and more taking shape what we're actually going to be making. So let's just get the last, it's going to be 3 more rows, so actually it's going to be quite long as well. So next one we only have to add 3, so I'm picking up bugle, seed, bugle. So the bugle, by the way, is 3mm Toho bugle, and the seed beads are size 11 Toho seed beads. Oh my gosh, I do need to talk to you about the ring I made last week. So you know, we made the ring last week and I was so happy with it, and it's actually moved over to my middle finger now. Now, what I am really not happy about and got frustrated with, you could look at the color of the band. So what we made, because I made it for this finger, but what I found every single time when when I'm washing up or doing something, it's kept falling off. So I think I need to make maybe a row or 2 smaller for I was really disappointed with the Delica beads. I am very happy with the Toho seed beads because they kept their colors, but I was quite a bit disappointed with the Delica beads because they came off. And yes, I know, I was washing my hands and I left the ring on. I was putting on hand sanitizer and I left the ring on. I was washing my hair with my blondening shampoo and I left the ring on. So I was aware of that if it's gonna come off, it will come off, because I was introducing the beads for all sorts of these chemicals, but I didn't anticipate that it's gonna come off like in 3 days. So the first day or 2 it was all right. The 3rd day it started to second, 3rd day come off, and it did look a bit awful, but then I just kept wearing it, and by the weekend, because all the color came off, actually looks all right now, so I can wear it. Just the band, not rose gold, it's got this purple iris color to it. Right, so I finished row number 5, and I'm gonna go through the next one. I only need to add 2 here. So picking up bugle, seed, bugle, hooking in the second one, and again they're not sitting quite together, so I'm gonna go back down. I'm gonna come along up the first bead and make them sit together. Good evening, Gwen. And pull this together, and when I pull this together they should close up. And in this very last end, now we could either have just one bead hanging down, or actually at this point we could add a little of a bit of a a bit of a fringe going to the bottom. So we could make this longer, or we could make this shorter. What shall we do? Shall we do a longer one at the end here? That would look good as well. Or shall we just have one bead? So if I just put one bead there for you so you can see the size, so that would be just adding one bugle bead and a seed bead, which would take our little triangle to a total point. Or we could add quite a few of these and make it maybe as long as the triangle itself, just a little dangly down bit. Lorna is saying, we name the bead color to mystery bead. Don't know what color it ends up. So what I was really surprised that once the bead come off, this is one of the delicate beads, which is, I think it's like purple iris or iris brown, because it's got purple, a little purple, gold and green in it, but it's a very shiny bead. So like, just thinking about it, when you do painting and decorating at home, and for example you want to repaint your radiator, or you want to repaint like a wooden surface, walls not so much, but like wooden surfaces, you would have to sand the surface to sort of take the shine away, to make it a little bit scratchy so the next coat of paint will stick to it. And what got me with this one, that it's a shiny bead underneath the coating. So no wonder why it came off. Right, are we putting fringe on, or shall we stop? Do let me know. What shall we do? I think, I don't know. Let me pick up some beads. We can always take them off. So we got the seed beads already. So I'm starting the bugle seed, bugle seed. I'm just gonna follow the pattern we made. So Rachel is saying fringes. Sazane is saying no fringe. Let me just pick up a couple of these. I'm going to take them down. I can always take them off my needle. It's not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'm going to pick up one more to get to the size of the. So that this is how it look without fringe. If we put the fringe on, then we would have it as long as this, and then we would go back on the beans, on the back through the beads all the way to the top, and go into this bead here. So this will be centralized. Joe is saying fringe, another no fringe, 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 no fringe. So we got 2 no fringe, 3 fringes, 4 fringe. We got 4 fringe or no fringe. Right, let's put the fringe on this one. And the next one, you could always have one with a little fringe, and the next one not with a fringe. So I'm going to pull this one bead down. That this is last seed bead I added, and I'm going to go up through all of the beads just added, just like that. And instead of going into the bead I'm coming out of, I'm going to go through the one next door and then go up. Just like that. Make sure it sits nice. I'm gonna hold on to the last seed bead here and just pull it up so I got a nice tension on there. I think that looks quite good. I got quite a bit of thread left here, so what I am going to do, I'm just going to follow my thread path up on the side beads here on the very edge. No, that's not going to work, because then it's going to pull it to the side. Let's just back up. So if you just went along the side, so you see what happened, because I went along the side and I went into the next seed bead there. It's pulled it was sitting straight, and now it's pulled that little bugle beads to the side again a little bit. Can you see it just there? So I'm going to go back up, and actually I'm going to try to go up in the middle, then just go along at the top, go along at the top, the position I need to be. I want to be coming out either top or the bottom of this seed bead, right at the very, very top. Good evening, Ruth. We're just making, well, we're coming up a bauble decoration today. Going to the top. And again, oh, it just started raining outside, I can hear it. Going to the top. So I didn't go into the very side one, I went to the one before, because I didn't want to turn that connection the first two bead have. Come out. I just caught my thread on the tail, on the fringe. Come out, you fringe. That's it. And then and I'm going to come back down through this last one, and then I'm going to add, actually let's have one between, which is 3. So I'm going to add one set just to have between. Just pull this a little bit looser so it doesn't sit so straight. So I'm going to pick up one seed bead, one bugle, one seed bead, and I'm going to come through this again. Actually, what we could do, and that would look really good, I didn't even think about this, I just came to this idea that we could have one triangle which is come down almost the length of our bugle, which is length of our bauble, which this will, then we could have one next door to it which is a little bit smaller. So we could have one maybe with starting out from 4 and just coming down, and then we could go back to 7 and then coming down. That would look really good as well. So if you alternated the size of these as we go around, I think that would look good as well. Anything it would look good with a long fringe for the movement and sparkle, absolutely. This is just sort of the base model. We're just working it out, and once, this is what I do all the time, once I've worked out a particular pattern and I got it on the bauble, or even if I do a jewelry, if I made it into a bracelet, then I just sort of sit and look at it, evaluated what do I want to change on it, if I want to change anything, and then remake it with those changes. So I'm going to add a few leather stitch rows to this one. Let me know if we should alternate between a larger, but then hold on, I have got a smaller bauble here. So if I would put this on a smaller bauble, then that would dangle down quite a bit. So shall we alternate a longer triangle with a shorter one, or shall we just go with the same sizes all the way around? Do let me know in the comments if you want a longer one, shorter one, longer one, or just keep it to the same size all the way around. I have to add a few of these leather stitches either way. Elizabeth is saying let's alternate. We're just saying alternate. Brenda's saying like the idea, I think what she's saying. Alternate. Yeah, we're going to alternate then. So in that case, we're going to have one which is not going to have anything sort of going, so have just, or do we need a little gap, or we just have this one as a gap? So if not, then 1, 2, we need 2 more, because if we alternate between 7 and 4, just make sure this is nice and tight, so they sit nicely, neatly next to each other. Oh, everybody, long and short, please. Lorna is saying, Gwen is saying alternate, Alison alternate, everybody wants to alternate, so let's alternate them. So seed bead, bugle, seed bead, we need 1 more here, just like that. Now, because the way where I am, so I'm coming out of this second seed bead here, which is not a problem. It doesn't matter. We're gonna start our we're gonna need to start our little triangle. Now, instead of sort of trying to go around and turning my thread and doing all sorts of things, what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna go ahead, I'm gonna add 1 more section, and then come down, and then I'm in the coming out downwards to the last bead. So we would have to add 1, 2, 3, 4 beads if you want a little gap. And actually, if I have a little gap here, I could have added a little crystal here, or just, oh, I know what we can do. When we come back, we can just add a dangly bit here, hanging down between the two without any triangle going in. Okay, so let's do a smaller triangle, then we're gonna weave up, and I'm just gonna add a little decoration in here. I mean, we don't have to actually add bugles to the bottom. We could just add the seed beads. I just followed the pattern what we had, but let's just make our second little triangle. So if that's gonna go there, so I need to cover 1, 2, 3, 4. We're gonna add 4 to this row, 5. So I'm keeping up 1 bugle bead, 2 seed beads. I'm doing the same what I did before, and another bugle bead, and I'm gonna catch the thread path between. Now, I'm not gonna catch the thread path between the last one and the bead before, but the bead before and the bead before that. And I'm gonna go down, so I'm gonna turn it around so I can hold it nice and tight. We are gonna have to do our little trick to go around this first little bit. So I'm gonna go up, and I'm gonna come down, and see how big is the gap at the moment between them. I'm gonna come down and pull this tight, and they're just gonna be pulled together. And I'm gonna go along and add another section, just going through the next, catching the next thread. So let's hold it this way, so that's to the other side, and then I'm not gonna get caught up on there. Go to the bugle beads and just stitch to the seed bead as well. We get into position, and I'm gonna pick up another seed bugle, go through the next one, and come down. Again, go through the seed bead as well. And do we need another little one in there? So if we want to add, yes, I think we need 1 more here. So we're going to end up 5 on this row instead of 4 what we wanted, but never mind. So I'm going to pick up 1 seed, 1 bugle, and catch that. And we still got 1 more thread path here, but that's where we're going to add another dangly bit later on. So this one was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and this one is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're going to be one shorter, but no, I'm going to change my mind, because then it's not good. You're not going to see the graduation so much. I'm just going to leave the 4 there. I'm going to get these bugle bead seed bead off because I need them the other way. And I'm going to go into my little triangle here, and I can put perhaps a pearl bead or something bigger there, because now I got a bigger gap there. So bugle, seed, seed, another bugle, and then I'm going to catch the thread. It might very well be too small, actually. You don't know. You don't know until we try it. And then go up to set these 2 straight. Lauren is asking, are you putting the triangle going up the top of the baubles, or is it the long strip at the top of the bauble? I think that's given me another idea, Lorna, again. I think you could have it either way, or you could even have the triangles. That would look really cool as well. But I think for that one, we would have to make equal amount of triangles, so we couldn't have a small one, larger one, small one. If we had the triangles coming in from both sides, and perhaps we would meet in the middle. So let me just get to the end of this row. So what I mean is, if we had the triangles going down from the top, and at the same time we could have triangles coming up from the bottom, and they would meet in the middle, and they would actually create these little windows of diamond shaped windows. Once we added all of them on there, that would look really good as well. You could do so many different things. You could also add an extra seed bead here, so we would have a larger gap, sort of turn it a little bit. There's all sorts of different stuff you could do, and you could turn. We could also just have a base of the bugle beads and add seed beads, add a little pattern. So in the next row I could just add seed beads on there. I could have different colors of seed beads, so I could have red, green going in there as well. Any color really, any color you fancy. This is what I love about brick stitch, and some of you might have our USBs, and on USB 3 I did it was a pair of earrings. It's a technique how to make, it's brick stitch, made with brick stitch, but it was the ginkgo leaf, and a ginkgo leaf. I love that one. That was my favorite one on there, because with that one you make it up as you go along. You can add or take away, because you were replicating a leaf, it just given you that really nice and natural look, and I loved it. I really loved that project. I think brick stitch is quite underused. I guess the most stitches I use in jewellery is either peyote stitch or right angle weave. I use right angle weave quite a lot, but with brick stitch you can create so many lovely patterns. Right, I'm just gonna add, so what we're gonna do here, I think if we add the same amount of fringe, but obviously it's gonna finish there, because it's like this, our triangle is little. Should the fringe a bit the same as this one, or should we have smaller one? Maybe we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on a 6, and we got 4 here, 4 rows. So we have 6 bead fringe on a 6 row triangle. Here we got 4, so maybe we just add 4 bead for a 4 row triangle, just to sort of keep them in the proportionally to their own sizes. So there's 3, and I'm picking up 4. Brenda is smelling smaller, so this is the 4. The 4 would end up there. I think that would look really good. Actually, what this reminds me is, if you put this on a bauble, like icicles coming down on your window, that I think it's giving you, shapes like this can just do so many I'm gonna disregard the last bead. I'm gonna pull that down and go through the bugle bead, seed bead, bugle bead, seed bead, all the way up to where I started the fringe, and pull this up. Now I'm coming out of this second bugle bead there, so I know I need to go, well, the seed bead underneath the bugle bead, so I know I need to go towards this side and pull this up. I think that looks rather nice. And the next one needs to be a long one again, but we're gonna have to leave equal amount. And then I'm there. Let's go into the middle one. You're going to have to leave equal amount of gaps between them. So let's get to the next one. Just get to the top. Again, I'm not going through the last beads, but rather the beads before, so I don't turn them. So when I get to the top, I'm actually going to be coming out of the second set. So quite simply, as I got to the top, I'm just going to go down on this last set, and I'm going to start adding more of my leather stitch. So far we got, yeah, they really do look like, now because we put the long one and short one, it really does look like icicle. So I'm going to add another length of leather stitch here and have to do another short one, another long one, sorry, after the short one. Could we have a class to show how to start brick stitch from a pattern, please? Of course, maybe we could do, actually I think Sarah, isn't it? Yes, yeah, Sarah on this Sunday or next Sunday, she's doing little brick stitch start charms. We put together a sort of holiday seed bead pack for her. So I'm not sure, I don't want to say like this, she's definitely doing Santa and Rudolph and snowmen or whatever she's doing, because I'm not sure what she has planned or drawn out, but she's gonna make like little seed bead charms. So make sure you watch that on Sunday, because that's going to be really good. Is it this Sunday or next Sunday? I have to look in the calendar, because we have been moving bits of pieces and dates around, and I'm not exactly sure. I think we have been busy, and I've got a TV on Wednesday, but after this TV, which is the last TV for us this year, I really want to concentrate on getting ahead, mapping things out, putting the events on Facebook, like sort of even in weeks in advance, so we know what we're doing. We usually sort of plan it out, but Facebook Live have been planned out until next year, but you sort of plan it out and name it out, and we need to sort of go back in and upload and create and add to it and just sort of finish it off, so it's all on there and everybody can know what we're doing. Right, how many have I got? I think I need more. So if I'm going to say I'm going to leave, I've got 2 thread puffs showing at the bottom here, so I'm going to have to leave 1, 2, 3, so I'm going to need to add quite a few more. It doesn't matter if you add 1 extra, because you can always just sort of double back yourself and come back. Lonnie says she's looked forward to that. I think that is I got a feeling that's this Sunday coming. She's doing that. I think 1 or 2 more sets. Let's count them. So I'm leaving 1, 2 there. So 1, 2 has to be set, and I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Is that right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, that's right. I'm in exactly the right position to start doing our little icicle coming down. So I'm going to pick up and just move some over here. I'm going to pick up a bugle, 2 seeds, another bugle. I'm going to turn this around. So when you're doing any stitch like this, by the time you get to sort of a particular part, you will work out how's the easiest to hold it in your hand, so you don't get caught up with your filly bits. Going back down, we're going to have to do our little treat here. So they're going to sit, see, they sit a little bit apart. So I'm going to go up to make them sit next to each other and go back down. And he's saying, I think the gap will look fine when you add a single dangle between. Yes, I think it will look great as well, but don't forget, we can always add more beads to it. So at the moment, we only used seed beads and bugle beads, but I could, and have I got anything here? You never got anything to your hand when you need it. Oh, there's some miracle beads here. So I know this is silver, I could have got the gold, but we could always add a couple of larger beads. And actually, now thinking, we could have added larger beads to the end of it as well. Let me just bring this up a tiny bit. I think that would have looked pretty as well. So that's perhaps for the next one when we perfect it. Look how pretty that would look at the ends, just by adding 1 bead. And to be honest, by the time you go around the bauble and you're mainly using seed beads and bugle beads, and by just adding 1 miracle bead or crystal bead or pearl bead here and there can really make your pattern look even nicer. And you only use a few of these because probably those ones you would need, I don't know, about 20, 24 of them max. Oh, Joey's saying, oh yes, miracle beads. That's why I had just next to me, just miracle beads. How convenient is that? I do love miracle beads myself as well, because they look great, and especially for baubles they look great because depending on how the light hits it, they do change sort of. They're also called illusion beads as well, because depending how the light hitting, you see that bead in a bead. I'm just gonna go along here, picking up a seed bead and bugle bead. Oh, got Christopher here. Come and say hello, Christopher.
Hello.
Oh, Elizabeth's saying just for you, Joe, that's the miracle bead is. And going back up, I think we get this section done tonight, and then have a little go as well at home. Pop some pictures in the group. Maybe we should make like a creation station group just for creation station, where you can have an experiment and put pictures up. But for now, just pop your pictures into the handmade group so we can all have a look. Have a little experiment, and if you go all the way around, I think it's gonna look really good. What we might have to do, because obviously the bauble is round in shape, and our strip at the top here, we're gonna have to turn it somehow because it's not gonna be that straight. So in the places here or somewhere in the middle, you might have to add the extra seed bead or 2, but just on the bottom to open the bottom up, so this can then turn nicely on the bauble. But I'm just gonna keep going and finish this fringe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We need 1 more, and then see what happens. Oh, Joe's saying nice to see Christopher. Miss him on Saturdays. Yeah, he's actually at the moment he's playing quite a lot with his cousins over the internet. I don't know what game they play. Don't ask me. Fortnite or Roadblocks, or I don't know. But he's doing that quite a lot. So I'm added 6 in this row. I'm gonna go into the next row, and I'm only gonna add 5 there. Oh, Joey's saying hi, Christopher is gone. He just sort of popped in to see what we're doing. He's been watching I'm a Celebrity Get Me Out of Here. I don't know why, like Lucy's really into it, and I find it, I don't know. I couldn't do it. I couldn't be in the same room with a creepy color, not along letting it be on me. No way. I'm just going down on this to put this straight. And then I'm gonna add 5 in this row. I think as your row is getting smaller, you're gonna go through it quicker. You're gonna be getting to your point as you go down quicker and quicker. And the next one. And then we're going to pick up and put the last one on this row and then move down. I think definitely thinking about it, I'm going to need to put something like a bigger bead on the end, just to have a little bit of extra decorations, just to sparkle it up a tiny bit, to balance it out, because otherwise it's just so much seed beads. I'm going into the next row. So do let me know, have you been doing baubles before? What kind of baubles have you done? What's your favorite? Oh, Lorna is saying, so if you put the stripe in the middle of the bauble, then we don't need to curve it. And then we could make little triangles going up and then linking the triangles up at the top. So this is in the middle, dangling down. I think we still need to add a larger bead to the end of it though. And then towards the top of it, we just make little triangles and then you can close it together. I think that would look really good, rather good as well. So there you go, Lorna. Please try that out for next week for us. Pop a picture in the handmade group, and then if I have your permission, then I can bring it and show it to everybody. I think I went through the wrong beads, so I just pop back up. That's it. Right, so we need to come back down into the second set first, and then we're going up in the first one, and then the second one, to make these sit nice and straight and to sit next together side by side. So this previous row had 5 on it, so this row I only have to add 4. And up to the bugle and the seed bead at the same time. I got myself caught up with my thread. Right, what is this? What have we done? Let's come through there. I got myself into a little knot.
What are you making?
I'm just making a bauble cover, sweetheart.
Not like that?
No, this is going to be like triangles.
Like that?
No.
Like that?
No.
Oh.
It's completely different, sweetheart.
Like that?
No.
Like that?
Right, so I'm just adding the last set here, then I'm going to go down another row. The next one I only have to add 3 in, and then 2, and one, and then we're going to add a longer fringe on here, and I think it's going to look quite nice. So next row is a bugle, seed, seed, bugle. So in this one I'm only adding 3. I wonder how it would look like if we didn't add the seed bead between, if we just had the bugles. That's another one to try out. Lorna is saying, need some bugle beads. I'm going to have to look in my beady, a Bermuda triangle of my craft area. Oh, bless. I think I got a Bermuda triangle here as well because I can't find anything at all. Right, I'm just coming through the last one, and this row is done. Next one is only going to be 2. It's a little bit twisted. Let's just untwist it. That's it. So I untwisted my thread, but I went the other way. So instead of letting it dangle down, I left the needle dangle down and untwist. Or just a seed bead tassel. That would work as well. You do all sorts of different things. You could really do, you know, this is what I love about beading, that even though if two of us is going to do very similar things, it's going to be very different because we're going to put our own spin on it, and every one of us will interpret it in a different way. Let's do down to the bottom. I'm just going to pop it down and have a look. And now we need to pick up our fringe set. So bugle, seed, all the way down until I have 6 sets. Oh no, 2 bugles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's it, and pull this up, and then I can go back up. I'm going to ignore this last seed bead and just go back up through all of them. Don't have to go up in one go. You can just sort of go through a few. If you're making a longer fringe, you wouldn't be going through them at the same time anyway. I'm getting to the top, making sure I'm going through the other of this pair where there is 2 bugles sitting in a row. Pop this down, making sure it's nice and tight, and I would take my thread up to the top and start the next section and start it with a small one. But I think I'm going to leave it like that tonight, and we can come back to it next week and play a little bit more. Hopefully, if I get some time, I will do a little bit more of it to going around the bauble. Oh, Brenda's saying, can't do any more beading for a few days until this cut on my finger heals. I need to keep catching it. Oh no, Brenda, that's not... I know that. I actually, well, I'm not going to show you, is this finger. Last week when I was sorting my drawers out, I shot my finger into the drawer, and it's just, I think it hurts in your stomach more than actually hurts on your finger. But it wasn't a pleasant experience, so I do feel your pain. Yeah, so I'm gonna continue this now. Do have a play with it. Pop any pictures you have up in the group so we can have a look. I think it will look really rather good, and I might even go for Lorna's suggestion and just have this coming from the middle, so little icicles coming from the middle of the bauble, and then work out something going towards the top of it. I have had one. Where is that one? Which is it in here? Bear with me one sec. I think it's the other box. I got this one I made at least 10 years ago. This is just using a large bead. This has got like a little triangle in a star in the middle instead of the triangles. I do like it, but I think it's a little bit, it needs an update. And I had another one with a brick stitch which I put, just bear me 1 sec. I thought I put in this box here. I got in the other box. No. No, I think it's gone. I don't know. Never mind. I'll find it for next week. I had another one as well with brick stitch. But instead of going down with the, it was going down in a triangle pattern as well, but instead of doing it with a bugle beads, it was just done with seed beads, and it was like very small little triangles. I like the bugle beads because they're a little bit longer. So do have a go at and let me know. Debbie's saying missed the first half, but that looks really pretty. So we're just trying out little Christmas decorations. I think it's going to look really good once we like put it on there, and especially if I put it on the red one, I think it's going to look really good. Maybe I should have added, instead of adding a clear, have I got a red? Oh yes, not red, green. I mean a green. I could add a green miracle bead in the top and in those middle bits and in the tips. That would look really good as well. So just by adding 1 bead to the end, you sort of dressing it up even more. I think I might even go for that. But I will have a little play as well. Oh, Brandy's saying, hoping it will be okay for Saturday, as I want to do the Christmas shit. Oh, lovely. I hope it heals. Try to put some Savlon or something on it. They do, I think they call it healing cream, which makes like cuts heal faster. I got some somewhere in one of the drawers. Amelia saying miracle beads at the end of the dangles would look nice. I think yeah as well. So you could always dress it up and add more. You could add little drops, or you know, all sorts of different bits of pieces, crystals, glass pearls, anything. Oh, Mummy's saying I have a Christopher too. Oh bless. I don't even know why I named him Christopher. He just ended up being a Christopher. And it's so funny, when I was pregnant with him, so with Lucy, when I was pregnant with Lucy, we found out, I wanted to find out that if it was a girl or a boy. And in Hungary, it's a big thing, so you do go and find out if it's a girl or boy. And even if you don't want to know, most often the doctor will tell you. And so I knew with Lucy we're going to have a girl, because we went for a 3D scan, and I knew. But Simon didn't want to know, so I kept it a secret until I think I was 8.5 months pregnant, and then I couldn't sort of keep it a secret anymore. And I told him, I was like, oh, I can't keep it a secret, we're having a girl. And he was like, oh, I kind of guessed, because there's pink clothes in the bottom of the cupboard, there's pink baby clothes in the bottom of the cupboard. With Christopher, we never find out. We said we're just gonna be a mystery baby. And in my I sort of felt that he's a boy. And when I was like sort of trying to pick names, me and Sam, we both picked a few names, and Christopher was on both of our lists. So that's how he became Christopher. But I don't know why I particularly picked Christopher out. I think it was William. There's quite a few. Jason, I like Jason as well, but he ended up Christopher. And all through the pregnancy, like I just thought it's gonna be a boy. I just felt it's gonna be a boy. And when we were picking out names, I didn't even pick out girl's name at all, and I didn't know. So that was bad. I suppose he could have been Christina, but bless him. So that's that. Oh, cats on beading fingers on nightmare Aranda, you're answering absolutely. Like when I have hurt finger, is just or a nail or something. It's you know, you keep on doing something and you keep going there and trying to do it, and every single time, oh no, it hurts. It's like when you got like a dodgy tooth and keep chewing on it, and you know you sort of start to chew on the other side, but you now and then you bite on it and then it hurts. Right, my ladies, lovelies, that's it from me today. I'm gonna be back next Monday. We're gonna continue with this tassel little bauble. I think it's gonna look really good with little icicles. If you have a go, do pop a picture up. Yeah, I think you could do it with longer bugles as well if you got longer bugles. The ones I use are 3mm ones and with size 11 seed beads. I will be back on Totally Beads tomorrow. Have I got the bracelets here? I think they outside. They're in the kitchen because Simon brought them home for me. So tomorrow I'm hugging crystals with seed beads. We're gonna be making a little bracelet, very easy to make and can be beaded up quite quickly. So that's tomorrow. If you did look on Totally Beads, 12 Days of Christmas. So I know quite a few of you requested it again. So if you do want the 12 Days of Christmas, go on Totally Beads. Go into the 12 Days of Christmas page and just put your email address in the bottom. And if you get enough people, then they will make another batch up. The guys that will make another batch up of 12 Days of Christmas because he saw that on Saturday. My friend went into hospital knowing it was a girl, told the boys it was Susan and came out with Heidi. Oh, bless. Right, everybody, enjoy your evening, my lovelies. Tomorrow morning, I'm back on Totally Beads. Otherwise, those of you who are in the Bead Club, I will see you on Thursday and Friday, or I'll be back on Facebook on Sunday night with my weekly chat and back with the Creation Station next Monday. I'm really hoping, I got a lot going on with this decorating and everything else, but I'm really hoping I can have a couple of quiet hours in the weekend and do a little bit more of this bauble and we experiment a little bit more next week. I got a couple of other ideas in my head as well we could go through, but do have a go at this one. Right, take care everybody and I see you next week. Have a lovely week everybody. Bye.